Name that tune. Well done, Jasper. Yeah, very good. I tell you what, we're going to play a game today. First of all, wow, the room's gotten bigger. As you can see, the room got bigger, which is awesome. And we'll do that. We'll start with a game today. It'll be something different. We'll see who can get the best of 3 Name That tunes, okay? I'm just going to say hi to everyone. Patsy Smith says it's cold in Suffolk, hoping for some lively chat. I hope so. David Heidelberg says, my wife says, no 2 for you. No 2 for you. Come back 1 year. Hi, David. How you doing? Jasper says, sounds good. What, the guitar? Thank you. I hope that's what you mean. Rosanna says, good evening, everyone in the chat. Happy Monday from Cornwall. Everywhere's cold and rainy. Sorry, guys. Montana. Hey, Rexomatic. Yeah, tell everyone about your rain song journey. Jasper. So that was a test run. You got that one. Okay. Wicked dream, though. Sorry, Sean. Hi, Vic. How you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Kevin. Wonderful. All right, we're gonna play that. Just say hi to everyone. I'm gonna do best of 3. Name that tunes. Okay. I'm wearing the blue Sandhole Sniffer. I thought it was darker than this. It's magic. Look, absolute magic. Wow. So I thought it was darker than this blue color, but it's actually like not sure what you call this blue, but it's very blue. It's way too colorful for me. I usually wear black. So what I did was I'm running the guitar in, and then I'm just using Ecamm to set the levels. Like when I talk, the levels are in the yellow. When I play and they're in the level, for me, they're too loud in my headphones. So I just lowered my monitoring by 6 dB. And I feel like that's a really good balance then, especially if I want to turn down the volume. All right, so are you ready? We've got 16 people here. Let's do it. So I'm going to play 3 songs. And the first person to guess 3 in a, not 3 in a row, the first person to get 3 right is the winner. All right, here we go. The first one is only 1 chord. And you can't see what it is because of Sean. Here we go. Now I wait because there's a delay in the stream. I think black is more thinning on me. This is also a very big shirt, but I've been good last week. I've been very healthy, so I don't care. I'll get smaller each week. All right, David gets 1 point. Okay, it's not really fair because he plays all the songs that I play. Okay, everyone, you're gonna have to try harder because David is now in the lead. 1. Everyone else has none. Here we go. Next song. I'm not going to play the whole intro. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this harder. Ready? One more time. This is fun. I just wish it was. I wish there was less of a lag, so we, because there's always like that 10 seconds where I have to wait for the stream to go out to you. Rexomatic, we've moved on. David Heidelberg got the first one. David Heidelberg has 1 point. I need the full title, Jasper. The full title. It's got to be the full title of the song. Can't be part of it. You got to type. Oh, David Belcher. Is it called Last Dance of Mary Jane or Mary Jane's Last Dance? It's called Mary Jane's Last Dance. I didn't know that. Oh, David Heidelberg again. All right. If David gets the next one, he is the winner of the competition, and everyone else needs to. He did, yeah. David Heidelberg got the title right as well. It's a really good song. It's by Tom Petty. You must know it. Actually, though, that wasn't the song I meant to play. There's another Tom Petty song that goes. That's what I meant to play, but they're the same. If you just play the first chord, it's kind of the same thing. So I messed up. Okay. If he gets one more, David is the winner of today's Name That Tune. So, let me think of one that he might not know. Okay, I don't think he's going to know this one. I don't think anyone's going to know this one. You ready? Oh, slightly out of tune, sorry. That'll make it harder. Okay, let's see. Is this out of tune or not? Let me see. No, he got it wrong. He doesn't know. Yeah, Sean, I know. I know, and yet, David got it right. So, I don't think it is unfair. Rexomatic, that's what I was going to play. Yeah. That's what I thought I was going to play. But it doesn't, you need to play more than one chord for that. I bet, so no, that was too hard? No one knows this? What is that red dot on the screen? I can see there. Look at that. You see that? Where my hand is? I hope that's not my camera messing up. I don't think anyone will know this. You wouldn't know that even if I sang it. So I'll sing it. What the heck is wrong with you tonight? I can't seem to do or say the right thing. If you still don't get it, then I know we play it without the. I know we play it in E. What the heck is wrong with you tonight? I can't seem to do or say the right thing. Nobody? That was too hard. Okay. Okay, one more then. One more. Okay. That's hard too, but not as hard maybe. It's more modern. Come on, people, you got to learn more songs. This isn't good. You're going to lose those tips at the gigs. When people say, I want Joe Jackson, and you can't play it, you're going to lose money. And when they want that artist, you can't, you're going to lose tips. You got to do it. Anyone? No. That was John Mayer, Rosie. Rosie, come and look the door for me. I'm drunk again. Okay, so that's too hard. All right then, one more. But if I play anything like too obvious, then Heidelberg's just going to get it like immediately. So it's got to be a little bit complicated. Not complicated. Okay, I got it. Rexomatic, he's being silly. He's trying to be British, but he has no clue. Okay, let's see if everyone gets that one. If I played Sweet Home Alabama or something, it's going to be so obvious that everyone would get it, even if you don't play the guitar. Zolly Band? I don't know what that is. Okay, fine. I don't know who that is, to be fair. Joe Jackson was awesome. Joe Jackson's songs are so interesting, aren't they? Pretty women are walking rock and rollers down my street. From my window I'm staring while my coffee grows cold. Look over there. Yeah, but that's not the competition. No one got that one either. That was Oasis. Okay, fine, one more. Okay, I'm done with that because it's going to take forever to get a winner. All right. I will declare David the winner, and also declare that David can't enter next time because he knows all those songs, but he doesn't know the weird songs I play. Okay, he won. Look, Sweet Home Alabama. Okay, there we go. There we go. Congratulations. That was Oasis. That was Supersonic, Jasper. Very close, very close. All right, what are we talking about today? So everyone was expecting the update today for the Quad Cortex. It's been delayed again. Another delay. So maybe next week for David. Sorry, buddy. I have been... exactly, you're 59. You've had time to hear these songs. You've had time to hear them all, so... I don't know, Paul. I think you all have the same delay. I don't think he's any closer to me than you are. But so I'll just talk about what I've been doing this week. I played a lot of gigs. I had a great gig on Saturday. I played in a bar, in like a bar that was like the size of most of your living rooms, probably, or the size of a New York City apartment, unfortunately. But it's so nice because I got to actually talk to people. You actually really interact with people. First of all, the gigs that are later tend to be more fun because people are out drinking and partying a bit more. And then if you're in a small room where you can actually engage with the people that are basically sitting right in front of you, I really like that. I haven't done something like that for a while. Most of my gigs are background music. I guess Fridays are like that, but that was even more like that. It was like they're right there, right in front of me. It was really fun. Good communication about the delay, says David. Well, that's good for you. I'm glad. And when they eventually release it, please do let us know. And then I want you to let me know if it's worth the wait or not. I didn't need in-ears because they were literally standing right in front of me. So here's the thing. I took the Everse. So I'll give you a rundown of this gig. I think it's quite interesting for people. So I had to use my own speaker and plug into their system. So I took the Cole Clark in my Meridian soft gig bag on my back. I have a mic stand in this sling so I can wear it across my shoulder, and I deliberately use a lightweight mic stand so it's not too heavy for that reason. Then I had my Everse 8 in my left hand, which weighed 15 pounds. I didn't really feel it. But then my cable bag in my right hand is about 22 pounds, 21, 22. That's pretty heavy. So normally if I just take the cable bag, I can switch arms and that's okay, it's not too bad. But when you've got to carry the speaker and the cable bag, it's more of a problem, I find. So needless to say, it was doable. I walked the train and went up the elevator, got through all the turnstiles. The gig wasn't too far away. It was fine to carry that. It's really nice to know that I can carry a rig by myself and do an actual bar gig like that. That's really cool without a car. But I will say this, the Everse was awesome because my phone didn't charge. For some reason, the charger wasn't plugged in. So when I got there, I used the Everse to charge the phone. And I love the app control. The S1 Pro doesn't have the app control. So I don't like reaching behind the speaker to adjust the volume. I find that really fidgety and annoying when it's on the table. So I like the app. But I really believe, though, the volume, even in that small room, it was starting to compress. I really get surprised. I can't think of the word without being rude. People talk about these battery-powered speakers. I feel like they're talking about using them for all-day gigs, like they're going to replace a PA. It's obvious, but a battery-powered speaker will not replace a real PA speaker because a real PA speaker is 2,000 watts. Like the K8.2 is 2,000 watts, and the battery speakers are 200-300 watts. They're not going to have. I mean, they can be loud enough, dB-wise, decibel-wise, but they're not, and they're never going to have the headroom and the clarity. So your notes are going to start to compress, whereas with a really high-powered PA speaker, the notes stay really solid and punchy, and that's the difference for me. So yes, the Everse is probably my favorite right now. I still like it, and I'll probably use that one going forward, but it does not replace a K8.2 and a small mixer. And you can buy tiny little mixers now from Elite Acoustics that weigh a few pounds and have 4 channels. So I just don't know why most people, especially if you drive a car to a gig and you haven't got any problems with your back or your shoulders, I don't know why you wouldn't take just a regular PA speaker or 2 and a small mixer. It's going to be so much better. Unless you need the battery power, the Bluetooth control, the streaming of the music, then the dedicated speakers are still better. But I think people know that. It's just that I always feel like in forums, I feel like I'm reading that people think that they're going to replace their whole rig, and sometimes they do. And it does work. I could get by with that if I had to. But it's just not. It's just not as good. It is not as good sound-wise. So let's see what we're saying here. That was my weekend. That was good. I really enjoyed playing a late gig again, like a late night one. Paul bought Everse 8 and loves it. Awesome. It's good, it's the most expensive one. It's not cheap, but what you get is good. I like the look of it. I like that it looks like a conventional speaker. It's so light. The only one lighter is the S1 Pro, but then the S1 Pro has a smaller speaker. So the fact that it has an 8-inch speaker and is that light is impressive. I think it'd be the same weight as the JBL, but they're using a different enclosure material, which is lighter. That's the difference. So there's not much in it. If you can find a used JBL speaker, you might want to go that route to have the physical controls. But at the end of the day, every pound to me is important. So the Everse is a pound lighter. And I do like the app because when you're on stage and you've got to make an adjustment, you can use the wheel graphic to turn it up and down. It's much easier than using the sliders. So for those 2 reasons alone, I like that speaker. But I would still rather have a real PA speaker any day of the week. When I say real PA speaker, I mean like a 2,000 watt actual PA speaker in a metal enclosure. You know what I mean? What amp do you use in that room? Why did you move to the US from the UK, by the way? So things in the UK were going well. I downsized the apartment. I had a car. I was doing weddings most weeks. I was doing a couple of gigs each week. I was full-time at a music school. I was the head of music performance. And I was turning 30, and I just thought, well, what it was is a friend of mine at the time got a visa, and he told me about it. And I thought, you know what? I keep going on holiday there. I keep going on vacation there. And what am I going to do next? Like, I could just stay teaching forever, and not that there's anything wrong with that. I could just stay here teaching forever and gigging forever. But I'm turning 30. I want to try something else. So I thought, okay, I'll apply for the visa. If I get it, because it was a performance visa, I thought if I get it, I'll move, and if I don't, I won't. And I got it, so I moved, and the rest is history. David says, what amp are you using in the room? I'm going direct through the modeler. Sounds pretty good though, right? I've got the room reverb turned on. I think it sounds nice. David says, I played a small place Saturday and it was very interactive. Most of our gigs are interactive. Yeah, sometimes the venue just doesn't lead it to that, though, does it? Like if you're in a restaurant, even if there's a bar near, well, if there's a bar next to you at a restaurant, you can interact with those people, but you can't interact with the whole room. Then again, I guess where I played Saturday, there was people at the back as well. It was a long room. It was actually called a long room. It was, in fact, a long room. But it was just something about that room, something about being right next to the room where you walk in. So you see people walking out, walking in, and they're sitting right there, and the bar isn't there. It's almost just like you're playing in someone's living room. Maybe some of it's psychological. I don't know. But maybe I was just in a good mood that night. I don't know. But it was really good. David says, a suitcase with wheels is a good way to go. I bought a couple cheap on Marketplace. Yeah, not for me. I like the carts, the gear carts, because if I have a band gig, I load it up and I wheel it, and that's great. That saves me time because I haven't got to do multiple trips to the car. But on the subway, people say that I never want to use those things because what you have to do is remember, in New York, the sidewalks are all broken. There's stairs at the subway. It seems like a massive hassle to me to wheel something on the sidewalk up and down the steps, carrying that metal thing. I like to just carry stuff. I like to just carry the things. I just find that easier. Maybe it's not, but I like that approach. But I really like the cart. We spoke about it before on one of these streams, the cart that I use to take the gear in for a band gig, because if you don't have that and carry each thing in multiple trips, that's like 4 trips. Whereas with the cart, it's like 1 or maybe 2. Oh, great, Jasper. Post a link to your channel below so people can check it out. Put it in the chat. David, look, you got all the gigs, man. Playing at Casino Friday. Wow. I have to bring everything but the main speakers. I'm taking a Bose mixer and S1 for my monitor. But you love the S1 Pro. You're the biggest S1 Pro fan that I know. You know that? Brian, how you doing? Looking for a good quality small battery powered mixer. I have one for sale actually, but it's not probably what you're looking for. The thing is, when you say mixer, you've got to be more specific. Like how many channels do you need, and things like that. I've got a Zoom, which is kind of for podcasting, but it has the ins, the outs, and the basic EQ. So that is a mixer. It's a mixer that people use for podcasting, but you can also use for gigs. I've got a friend that uses it for gigs. And you can power it from batteries in the back as well, and you can record into it as well. If you're in the USA, send me an email because I'm going to be selling that probably this week. And that's the one that I'd recommend. And I don't really know any other battery-powered mixers. Elite Acoustics might make a rechargeable one. Their stuff is so good, but I'm not familiar if there's a battery-powered one. Someone might tell you in the chat if there is. Staley says, I'm at the doctor's office, but I'm still here. Nice to have a distraction. Well, that's nice to know that we can help, Staley. And I hope you're doing okay, buddy, at the doctor's. Rexomatic. Yeah, so Rexomatic asked me about Rainsong this week and says, after considering Enya, Kloss, and Emerald, online reviews, and playing a McPherson, I haven't played the McPherson yet, decided to go with the Rainsong WS1000s. Thanks for your input. Planning to order the next few days. Yeah, I really like it. I got nothing bad to say about it. I really like it more that I did the mod. I really think they need to start doing that mod at the factory. I hope they will. But aside from that, it's just great. And I don't know if I keep talking about it maybe, but I'm on this massive purge right now. I'm selling everything anything I don't use all the time is going. Because before I went live, I cleaned up this room and I did a couple of things that just make life easier. So my camera that I use for the close-ups always just turns on. The camera I use right here that I'm talking to now always says you have a dummy battery in the camera. It's not official. And I have to click OK. And it's hard. I have to reach over the camera and click OK and not knock my monitor, right? So I got another one the same as the other camera, and now it doesn't do that. And I went a step further. I plugged all my AV gear into one power strip. So what I'll do now is I'll come in here, I'll turn on the Mac. Well, the Mac might be asleep. I hit the space bar, it wakes up. I hit one switch and my monitors, the audio processing gear, and the camera all switches on at once, and I'm ready to go. And I love stuff like that. I love when you have space and things just work and you haven't got to mess around with them. I think that's really cool. So I'm not sure where I was going with that, but yeah, I'm selling a lot of stuff at the moment. I just put something on the acoustic guitar forum. I have like I found all these things I've been sent, like tuners, things I'd reviewed as well, like the Klingon pickup. I kept finding these little things and I kept thinking, shall I sell them individually? That'd be a real hassle. So what I did was I put them all into one box and I put it on the acoustic guitar forum, and you basically buy the box. You get everything in this box. There's a small rechargeable electric guitar pedal that's like $30. There's the Klingon pickup that's like $70. There's the Klingon tuner, it's like $30. There's some additional clips for those. There's two sort of generic wireless systems that were sent to me, and I didn't like them enough to review them, but I'm not going to say that they're no good. They don't meet my standards for what I want on the channel. So I put those in there, and there's a couple other things in there as well. Oh, there's a clip-on tuner from Diodario. That's a really good tuner. It's $30. I'm not going to be using, I don't think. So I just put everything in a box and rammed this box full, and I put it for sale on the acoustic guitar forum, and just to see if someone buy it. Like, you know, I almost did it anonymous, like just put loads of stuff in a box and say, look, give me $100 and you get this box, and you don't know what's going to be in it. But I decided not to. I listed all the stuff and just put it into one box. So we'll see. But aside from that, I've sold a couple of guitars this week. I'm going to be selling, what else? What am I going to be selling this week? The mixer I mentioned. There's lots of electric guitars coming up once I've done the videos on them. And aside from downsizing, what I want to do is streamline the room as well. I want this room to just have a ton of space. Like, I'd love it if I don't need this. If the room was really super clear behind me and I put another green screen on this side, I could actually walk around this whole window and it wouldn't have this cutoff. So I want to do that. So anyway, Staley approves of the Rain song. David says, Rex, I love my Sable, but the Enya sounds surprisingly great next to it. Sold my full-size Rain song and Emerald X20. I never played the X20, but I always wanted to. Or the Sable. Enya X5. I watched Dylan's video of that. He said it wasn't. He said it didn't sound as good as his McPherson, but I haven't played one. And then I don't know. I still think the Rain songs. I still think that WS1000 is going to sound better, especially with the anthem inside it if you're going to be plugging it in. I do still have the Rain song Shorty, but I really want to try the new Rain song reissue. Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. I'm probably going to have to sell my Rain song vintage because I can't justify two Rain songs. And I bought the WS1000. They didn't give it to me. So I think of the two, I'm not playing the vintage anymore. I like the thin neck on the new one. And I like how it looks. I like how it sounds. The vintage is cool because it looks inconspicuous on stage. But I just don't think I'm going to play it. And that's what then I realized about a lot of my stuff. When I have something I like, I don't play the others. It's like this Strat. I bought a few other Strats after this Strat, but I always just play this one. So what's the point of having the other ones? Because I can't play two guitars at once. And this guitar is so great. And this is a great guitar because these guitars that you find now are all like £8. But I really lucked out when I bought this one because it's like £7.6 or something. You never see them that light of this series. This is the American Pro 2. So I'm just like, well, I love the neck on this. I love the pickups on this. I love the sound of it. So why not just keep this one? Kind of where I'm going with this stuff. Oh, also tax season is coming up. So let me know if you want. Let me know if you want information on taxes for musicians. We could do a stream about it. I have a crap Behringer battery power mixer. Never used it. The Zoom stuff is good. I'm not just saying that because I'm selling mine, but the Zoom stuff is good. It's really light, my mixer. It's really light and it's battery powered. And that's what you want from a portable mixer, right? Graham says, I picked up a Diamond Tone Boss passive pickup Replace the LR bags element. Really do good. Been gigging with it. He's done in. Yeah, some people love sound pickups. I see the point of them, and if I was playing in a loud band, I'd like it. You know, they can still feedback. Yeah, they're more feedback resistant. They can feedback too. They can feedback like anything else can. But I like the tone. Well, I'm just say I'm not a massive fan of the tone of that style of pickup. They have that magnetic quality. They sound a bit like this. They sound a bit like this, don't they? Because these are magnetic pickups as well. You kind of hear that quality to them. The only thing I'd like maybe is noiseless pickups. You hear that hum? That 60 cycle hum? But then they're never quite as good, are they? They're never quite as good. So I have to just hit the mute button. All right. I'll play it before the sign. Yeah, so you get a month now with Rainsong for a return. So play it for a month and don't scratch it or anything because you won't be able to return it. And then if you decide it's for you, then have someone do that mod and install the anthem from my video that I put up. And that'll make that a super, 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 super duper guitar. And remember that I don't work for Rainsong. They haven't, they're not paying me, but that deal expires on the end of this month. And it is a $500 discount. And I do really like that guitar. Doesn't mean you'll like the guitar. I want to make that clear. Don't blame me if you don't like it. But I really do like it, and I'm very fussy. So, you know, I think if just a heads up if you're interested. By the way, all of Phil McKnight's, the new company that I talked about on the news. I do news every Friday on the channel, and Phil McKnight and the Tone Kings new guitar company, they had like 45. They had a long time to order their guitar, and they said on their videos they thought they might sell 3 or 9 or 13. They've sold 50 already. They've stopped. They've capped it off already. 50 guitars. 50 guitars. That's like 125 grand's worth of guitars sold in a few days. That's a good business model. If that remains like that or even grows from there, that's an interesting business model, and that seems like a good way forward for small companies to make limited runs of guitars. David says, do the anthem. Always do the anthem. The anthem is great. Best tuner, Unitune, Polytune. Still, what do you mean still? It never was. The best tuner is the Peterson Strobo clip that clips on your headstock, or the Peterson Strobo stomp that goes on your pedal board, or the Peterson Strobo Plus HD that lives on your desk. They are the best. The turbos are good too. ST turbo tuners are good too, but they are the best, in my opinion. David has 2 Sables. I got a stupid great deal on them, and one stays in Florida, which is mostly unoccupied. Did you get the Pro 2 from Adorama for $12.99? No, I didn't. I got this from Fender. When they first released them. I got it direct. And you know, here's a little thing that I wouldn't normally say. I feel like when you buy a guitar direct from Fender, let's just say when I have done that, I feel like maybe they're on the lighter side. But that might just be a coincidence. And I would always recommend buying from Sweetwater, because when you buy direct from Fender, you don't get to see the guitar. You don't get to see you don't get to see the grain of the wood and the weight. It's a real pot, but I've bought a couple from Fender Direct, and they've been on the light, maybe not the absolute lightest, but lighter than what I've seen available on Sweetwater 99% of the time. Is there something to that? I don't know. I don't want to start any conspiracy theories, but let's just say it may have just been that when I bought this, the wood was lighter. It was just before the lockdown, wasn't it? So maybe now there's less wood. I believe there is less wood supplies around, so they can't be as fussy. But I mean, look, what a great guitar, the American Pro 2. Oh, also, when I bought this, they were cheaper as well. The price went up over the years. And then they had to sell off a lot of them, like David said, at 1,300. They had to drop the price on them anyway. But I think they were around that when they released. But the great thing about this guitar is that, I don't know, it's actually very similar to the Maya in many ways. In the same way that the OM28 reimagined is very similar to the Maya's 28th model, this is very similar to the Maya guitar. The neck is different, but I actually like this neck a lot. It's like a really nice medium-sized neck. It's got the curved heel, which the Maya does not have, so it's rounded on your hand. And it doesn't have locking tuners, but that's fine. And it's got this S1 switch, which I actually don't like. I don't like what it does to the sound, and I don't like how it looks, even when it's pressed in. Looks a bit funky, look. So that's the only thing I would get rid of, that switch. But then again, why not have it there? You might want it one day. And these are just great. I think Fender get a lot of abuse, but I think these are the best, some of the best, S-type guitars on the market, and they should be, because Fender have been making guitars for a long time. But this is great. You could buy one of these and use it the rest of your life. Just have the frets done occasionally. Maybe replace them with stainless steel one day. But it just plays great. It sounds great. It feels great. I think it looks great. I love this guitar. I don't think I can sell this guitar, because it's funny, when I got this guitar, I didn't like it. It had a dent in the fretboard, and my guitar tech took it out. I'm not sure if he steamed it or sanded it, but it's mostly gone now unless you really look for it. And I thought, oh, I don't like it. And I just thought, no, there's something wrong with the pickups. Oh, I don't like and for a few months, I just kept it around. I just thought, I'm just gonna keep playing it. And then it became like my number one. Isn't that weird? Have you ever had that where you bought a guitar and you just thought straight away, no, I don't like this. I'll probably sell it soon, or I might return it. And then you've played it for a bit and thought, actually, this is the guitar I now play all the time. Jasper North, bought the Elliott capo. Somebody brought it from the US for me. Love it. Way too expensive for a capo. Yeah, but what is too expensive? I bought a patch cable for $50 the other week because I really wanted that patch cable. That's ridiculous, but I just wanted it. But it's ridiculous. But there we go. It is what it is. I'm still using the G7th capo. Graham says, the real advantage for me is that in a noisy pub, I can get decent sound quickly without too much faff. I have a preamp pedal too. I was filling too much with the piezo. Ah, right. Yeah, that's the thing. Magnetic sound hole pickups tend to just sound decent off the, stick them in the sound hole, plug it in, and they sound decent to great off the bat. That's the thing. So I understand that. And they're good at resisting feedback as well. We'll buy you a €5 coffee if you can play Different Days by Jason Isbell. Yeah, sure. Okay, here we go. Ready? Oh, that was really, I couldn't do that again. That was really hard to play that, but that sounded great. Wow. Whew. Hey Lee, buddy, how you doing? Working again hard. Good to hear it, buddy. I think Rain Song should keep an eye. Hey, I told them. That's up to them if they want to put that hole in there or not. But if they don't want to, you can do it yourself with my video. Because I tell you what, if I can do that modification to that guitar, then anyone can. Because I cannot even hang a light bulb. What's great about the Pro 2? Like I've already said it, right? But satin neck, not too big, not too thin. This particular one on the lighter side, around like under 7.5 pounds, which I love. I think the pickups sound really good. I don't know if you can tell that through this computer. They're not too fat, they're not too thin, they're just in the middle. That's the thing with standard series instruments, right? Everything's kind of in the middle. But that can be really nice because it just gives you like a nice platform to do things with. It's, all the positions sound really nice. The noise cancelling in between, of course. The bridge has a dedicated tone. It has the tremolo. I mean, everything I've just said there is on any Strat, of course. It's got the recessed heel. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really great. I just really like it. I've actually got a little crack here on the volume knob. Maybe I should replace that sometime, but I think it's been there the whole time. But I guess for me, what is it with a Strat? I guess for me, it's a combination of the weight, and this is light, the look, and I really like that look right there. You know, the old style headstock, not the big headstock. And the pickups, and these pickups sound really good. But of course, you can always change the pickups as well. I mean, as you know, I'm a stickler for it saying Fender, so that limits my options. If I wanted to say Fender on the headstock, some of the other guitars just don't feel like this. You've got the Ultras, which are nice, but the neck is a bit too thin for me. And it's got the Noiseless pickups, which work well, but I prefer the sound of these as pickups. Then you've got all the custom stuff. I've tried all the custom stuff, a lot of the custom stuff, and just found little niggling issues with the more like vintage style that I didn't like. And then some of the necks are glossy. This neck is awesome because it's that satin neck, and there's no like, nothing sticking out here. Frets are perfect. Yeah, and it just feels quality, It just feels like a quality instrument. And I really like when they do this. I wish they do that on all the Strat guitars as well. So when you go up here, even when you're holding the guitar, it's easy to hold. So I don't know. This is my favorite Strat. So this and an HSS Strat really is all I need. An HSS would give me the humbucker here in the bridge, which can be nice. I actually like the sound of the single coil humbucker distorted. It's got that clarity to it, that punch. The humbucker would sound much duller and fatter, but I kind of like that raspy. I kind of like that raspy sound. Just push it. I mean, push it with an overdrive pedal. The problem is then you'll get a ton of noise, and the humbucker gets rid of that noise and gives you a fatter sound and gives you a warmer sound. The nicest thing for me is when you have the humbucker and you can split it. So you can basically have this combination or press this button and then the humbucker engages for that song. Because I don't need that on like 3 songs. So engage it for those songs, turn it off for the other stuff. I mean, if you're playing Johnny Cash, you want this sound, right? Maybe a bit cleaner. You want that sound. You wouldn't have that sound with a humbucker. It would sound more like this. Like a warmer sound. So I want that. That's the sound that I want for that kind of stuff. What Phil's doing is great. That company's doing it. It is an experience, and it is a good price when you think what you're getting for the price. I really like it, but I'm not into those guitars. If they were doing a Strat, I would consider it, but again, I like the headstock. So what am I going to do? Does anyone know the official Martin Fest dates? I do not. I've heard nothing about Martin so far this year. They're being very quiet. Everything's very quiet on that front. I have heard that John Mayer is doing a concert in March. I might try to go to that in New York City with the trio and a bunch of other acts. They go on sale Thursday. What do you play Tyler Childers songs? Americana, awesome. I don't. You're clearly more into Americana than me, Jasper. I need to listen to this stuff. I did try Harvest Moon this week. So the thing with Harvest Moon is, yeah, I realized all I had to do was move the shape up 2 frets. And of course, this is tuned down to a low D. And that would be boom down there. So I really like it. So what I do now is I play Everlong in drop D and then that in drop D, and that's a nice. Then I haven't got to retune it for the rest of the songs. It's a little bit on the high side, but since I'm doing this cleanse that I've been doing the last 2 weeks, my voice is getting better, and I'm finding once I'm warmed up, I can do that show. It's good. Made a huge difference. So I've been trying some more challenging stuff lately. I have 3 SSS guitars. I should decide which is best and keep that one. Right, a Nash, a G&L, and an Ash Body Mexican Fender with noiseless pickups. It's tough because the noiseless pickups are so appealing. But they never have the tone, you know? Like what you hear now, the hissing now is the amp. This is what a noiseless pickup would sound like. Very quiet, right? But then that's that noise. Noise. Lots of noise. Because of the treble. So the thing is, here's the thing. If you have, I always think this too, if you just get an HSS Strat, the humbucker's noiseless, the in-between two positions, the two in-between positions are noiseless, so that's 3 that are noiseless anyway. So unless you use the neck all the time with a lot of gain, it's not really worth getting a noiseless pickup, maybe. Maybe. And then the other thing is, I'm sitting here now and you can hear that hum, right? That's a loud, no, that's not, I call it buzz. You hear that buzzing, but when you're playing, you don't hear it. And then also when you're playing in a band, like right now you'd have the drummer doing, you'd have like ambient noise, you wouldn't hear that. And then what people do is they get used to just turning off the volume quickly. So they finish the song. You see people do that on YouTube videos. So it's like that. And you start the song. I mean, that works. I don't know. If you could get these and they were noiseless, I would install them in a heartbeat, but they're just never quite the same. Maybe one day I'll find some that are. But I'd hate to replace these and not like them. The one thing I did a few years ago and did a video about it is put the Illich backplate on. That did work really well. They got rid of like 85% of the buzzing. That was a really good mod. But then I sold that guitar, and of course I lost the mod because I sold it with the mod and I didn't make extra money for the mod, and that mod wasn't cheap. So I just don't bother these days. But maybe if I do settle 100% that I'm keeping this, then I would do that mod to it. That'd be nice. Yeah, so he's got a custom shop. That's, yeah, I think, yeah, a great HSS custom shop Fender, a great SSS Strat. It's really all you need, isn't it? The Elliott is 175. Yeah, I just don't like that design. I like this design of these. I always have done. One of the great things about Strats, if you ding it, it looks even cooler. But isn't that the same with all guitars, really? That for people that like that? That's the other thing. This isn't a relic. I've had some relics, and I am into the relic thing, as you know. But I also like this, that this looks... well, so I should say, I like that this is unrelicked as well. And it's still in amazing conditions. I've only played it at home. So it hasn't got any like finish checking or anything like that. Yeah. Eddie, my dad bought an Ibanez electroacoustic, the hollow electric looking ones. I never thought I'd enjoy playing one, but when he passed away, it became mine. I found it to be so comfortable. I'm sorry to hear that he passed away, Eddie, and I'm glad you enjoyed playing that guitar because that was his guitar. And that's the thing we were saying earlier. You never know with gear what you're going to like, do you? Until you play it for a while. Just played a funeral gig this morning. Oh God. Me and my acoustic guitar in a small chapel. No amplification, just natural acoustics. Sounded great. Yeah, that's the thing. When you play without an amp, so I've had a few people say, can you play without a speaker at all acoustically? And I'm like, yeah, it'll be nice and easy for me, but no one's going to hear anything. But the thing about a funeral is people are not, obviously people are not talking for a start. They're sitting there. They might be talking very quietly. They're being respectful, hopefully. And you're playing in a room which is, very ambient, carries sound. You've got everything in your favor. The problem with playing like in a bar, if a bar asks you to play, see, when I arrived on Friday, I measured the room noise from people talking because it was really obnoxiously loud, and that was like 85 dB to start with. So there's 85 dB you've got to compete with right away. And once you start playing, they're going to talk louder. They're going to get up to about 95 dB. And you've then got to have even more volume. So that's the thing. You could probably play to 100 people if you were in a room that just fit 100 people and they were sitting down and listening with no one talking. You could play a acoustic guitar and sing, and people would enjoy the performance. But the minute people are talking, the minute the room's certain acoustic properties, then you have a problem. That's really the problem. And acoustic guitars are not really that loud. They can't compete with that, right? An acoustic guitar can get up to like 90 dB if you're sitting right next to the reader, but that sound doesn't travel out like it would from a speaker. So that's really the issue. But the amount of people that have said to me, "Just bring your acoustic," I have to tell them that doesn't work. Once I did it because they were very insistent. I did it, and they were not happy. They were not happy about it. But what can I say? So now I just say to people, "Let me bring." That was before the battery speakers. So now I say, "Look, I've got a battery-powered amp. It's 15 pounds. It's very, very inconspicuous. I like that word." And I'll bring it with me. And what I do is I take it in. I just stick it there as like a stool behind me, a table or something. And then if they come over and say, "Look, we can't hear you, we can't," then I can just turn that on, plug in the mic, and go. So I think that is the. You've got to remember, a lot of people don't understand this stuff. So that's a good thing. Good reason for having one battery-powered speaker that weighs 15 pounds is that you can just take it everywhere as a backup or in case you need it, right? Before, 5 years ago, we didn't have them. That was a different story. Yeah, guitars that are easy to play are important. With the Strats, I like the action a little bit higher than Evan would do it. I feel like some people set up the electric guitar very, very low action. I don't like that. I like them a little bit, they're not high, but a little bit higher than that. Just so, and especially if they don't fret out up here as well, because this hasn't got the. I don't think this hasn't got compound radius, so you get the fret out sometimes because especially if the strings drop even more. So I like them a little bit higher, but on acoustics lately I've been going lower, and I know it affects the tone, but I just don't want to be fighting the guitar. I just want it to be easy to play. You really want a telly for cash? True. But you know what I mean. That if I had to play it between this or an HSS, that wouldn't sound as good on an HSS. You're adding stuff. I know. I still haven't learned it. I still haven't even listened to it. I'm just playing it from memory. I thought it was that. Bum, bum, ba, 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 ba. No? I'm being really bad with that. A friend of mine used to play it. When I used to go to open mic when I was a teenager, my friends used to play it, and I'm literally thinking of them playing it. That's a really bad idea. I mean, they did a great version, in case they're watching. No, they did do a great version, but maybe they were playing it wrong. And I always say you should always learn songs from the recording. So I need to play the recording and play along to the recording before I play it anymore and really get it wrong permanently. If I keep the Fender SSS, I only paid $300 for it. Yeah, but you probably bought it when $300 was like $3,000, right? You can't go by that. Jasper, come on. Oh my lord. That end is not in the song. I haven't heard it. I thought it was that. But again, what's the point? I'm just guessing. What's the point of playing it? What's the point of saying that? I've never understood the dots on the fretboard. Dots on the side of the neck is sufficient. Good point. These dots are easy to see as well. Another important thing. They're also easy to see on the Rain song. There was one Rain song I had where you couldn't really see the dots. That's a bit annoying. But anyway. Dots on the fretboard. That's a good point. Why are there dots on the fretboard? Do you think it looks better? Would it not look as good without them? Now, I guess when you're playing... Oh, he bought it in 2022. Okay, well, fine. But it's... What is that, a Squier? Oh, it's a Fender. So where do you buy a $300 Fender SSS? Do tell. Do tell. The thing is, Jasper, I disagree a little bit because I tend to play like this. I can see those big dots on the front here more than the side dots. So when I sit and play like this, I can see those dots I can see those well. I don't play like dead on. I find that maybe I should. You know, I find that really uncomfortable. If I put the guitar so I don't see the fretboard. I don't play like that. I guess I might do if I go for that pose. Then I'm looking at the side dots, but when I sit and play, I'm playing it like this. Now those dots are really, really screaming at me. Yeah, I'm seeing those a lot more than these ones. So for that reason, I think they are important. David, are you sure that's legitimate, that guitar? That's the problem with buying used guitars as well. It freaks me out. Like with the Mayer guitar, there's all these stories that people take out the pickups and then sell the guitar. So you've got to take the plate off, check the pickups, make sure they're legitimate, and then make sure they haven't just forged them. And then with a Fender, sometimes they take the necks off and things like that. So are you 100% sure that it's still the guitar they say it is? You know, or is it the neck with the serial number on a different body, for example? I'm not saying yours is. I'm saying that's one reason I don't like buying used sometimes. So. I like this G7 because it's adjustable, but I don't use it live for that reason either. Because you can adjust it with this screw, so you can really dial it in nicely. A love-struck Romeo sings the streets a serenade, laying everybody low. A love song that he made. Find a street light, step out in the shade and say something like, you and me, babe, how about it? Now here's a question for you that I was going to make a video about and I never did. Why, I know a lot of you play acoustic, why don't you just play electric at your gigs? Because this sound is much better than many acoustic guitars, pickups. And there's no feedback. And there's no battery. So why don't we play, like when I go and play tomorrow, why don't I take this? Why don't I you know, what is the difference between this? I think it sounds great. I think it sounds as good as an acoustic, for this song particularly, right? A love-struck Romeo sings the streets a serenade. Find the street light, step out in the shade and say something like, you and me, babe, how about it? Juliet, the dice was loaded from the start, and I bet, and you exploded in my heart. I forget the movie song. When you gonna realize it was just that the time was wrong, Juliet? Why not? Jasper says electric has no heart. I don't agree. I think there's a lot of heart in that. I like the slight distortion, you know, the chiminess. And actually, the reason I asked that is I'm seeing more and more and more people playing electric guitars at solo shows now. I'm seeing it like as much as acoustic guitar, which is why I'm asking that question. So, especially if you make it even cleaner. I mean, this is a Marshall. This is still dirty sounding, but if you made it even cleaner somehow and is that, at the end of the day, is that really any different to an acoustic with a great pickup system? Is it, you know, to listen to, I mean, through the speakers at a gig, is that really any different? Is that really any different to me playing that on an acoustic? Really? For the audience, I'd say no. But maybe for the player, the way it feels, yeah. David says, my Rick Turners don't feedback. James Taylor won't sound right to me on electric. The Wah G makes a huge difference to my ear. Well, that was just because I was playing that. I mean, look, let's try another one. I really feel like if I was in the audience, that wouldn't bother me. You know, I hadn't even dialed it in. I'm just using it straight into this preset. So I really don't think that would bother me as an audience member. But we have a good point here from Eddie. I loop drumming on the guitar. Me too. So you can't drum on an electric guitar. Yeah, exactly. So you need something with a good body sensor. And then that can also introduce more feedback. But yeah, that's the thing. You get that percussiveness. I would argue, though, if you don't do percussive sounds, you don't want that because it also picks up the buttons on your shirt and everything else. So I would actually argue that it's good to not have that pickup if you're not doing that style of playing, which again leads me to why not just use an electric guitar? Right? Certainly make life easier. €100 electric guitar sounds also good since it's an electric anyway. Big discussion these days. Wood doesn't even matter. Well, so they say. But you know what does matter? You know what really matters is the feel of the neck. And this neck feels, I'll say it again, this neck feels excellent. And the cheaper guitars do not have this feel on the neck. It's also got the rolled fretboard edges. So the cheaper guitars do not feel like this. And also the look. The cheaper guitars don't look as high quality as this. They don't look as good as that. And that's really the difference. So it's like saying I have a $100 teaspoon and a $5 teaspoon. Yeah, you can eat with both of them. But the $100 one is most likely going to look and feel much more high quality than the $5 one that you bought from the cheap store. The cheap store? The dollar store. Except that would be $1.25. Okay, so a Dollar Tree teaspoon versus a $100 teaspoon, right? They both do the same job. But the $100 one, first of all, in your mind, is going to be better quality, and that shouldn't be ignored. And second of all, you can't argue that that one probably will be a higher quality metal and the way it's made. So you're going to feel it in your hands. This feels like a quality instrument. And the cheaper ones never feel quite as nice. They just don't. And I know some of that is psychological. But I think we mustn't underestimate the look and feel for the player. Yeah, to the audience, they probably all sound like this. I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. But no one cares about that. Musicians don't care about that. Musicians care how do I play when I pick it up. Like, I love playing this guitar. The only thing I don't like is the noise. But aside from that, I love the guitar. So to me, the money doesn't matter when you love something. It's good though. It's also a reason why Fender have to keep the game up with these, because if they did let it slip and slide, then there would be more reason to buy the affordable, cheaper guitars. Run away from medium acoustic strings. It hurts the fingers and 24 times more difficult. The sound result is priceless from acoustic. I am biased. So, you know, it's not really about the string gauge, I've found. It's about the action of the guitar. So the Cole Clark had 12 gauge, and I was getting really tired. My hands were hurting after shows. I just lowered the saddle, had the saddle lowered a little bit, and now I can play 5 3-hour gigs in a row with no pain. It's all the height of that saddle, and I don't think it even matters. Of course, 13s are harder to bend than 12s, but if you don't bend, I don't think it hurts. It might even hurt less because there's more mass to the string. But I don't think it's the thickness of the string. I think it's the height of the string from the fretboard and how hard you have to work when you press down. And that's another good shout out for electric guitar. This is so easy to, you know, the amount of pressure you have to push down to make that chord ring out is so minimal. That's great, right? Eddie says a Yamaha LS6 with a B-band A6T on board seems to pick up the body real nice. Yeah. But, you know, the main reason I wouldn't move away from a Cole Clark right now is basically the body sound is so good. It sounds like a drum. Like an actual drum. I tried playing electric and tired from my solo gigs years ago. After the third song, that's a monotony. Electric guitar on its own doesn't have enough depth. Even the hollow body's hard. Yeah, I don't know if I agree. The reason I'm talking about this is I walked into my friend's gig. We used to be in a duo together. And I walked into a hotel he was playing in the city. And I expected him to be playing acoustic guitar with a piezo pickup. That's what I was expecting to hear. Like, not a very good acoustic sound, because I don't think he cares about all this stuff like I do. And that's fine. You know, if you don't care about that, it makes your life a lot easier. It's good enough for John Mayer. But he was playing a Telecaster. And I just thought, wow, you know, I don't care that he's playing a Telecaster. What am I doing? I'm listening to the song, his voice, and then the guitar. And at the end of the day, that Telecaster sounds better than a crappy undersaddle pickup in a crappy guitar. So, and I'm not saying that's what he would use or whatever. I'm saying that's what you often get. So, okay, if he was playing a Cole Clark or an Anthem, maybe it would have been even better. I don't know. But I enjoyed the performance. I enjoyed it for what it was. No part of me was thinking, I wish he was playing the Cole Clark. No part of me. But when I play, I like to play the Cole Clark. But then again, I don't know. I think for a lot of people, maybe electric is the way to go. Like, learn on the electric, buy an electric, do some solo gigs with the electric, use it in a band. Maybe you only need one guitar. Maybe if all I had was this or a Telecaster, I could play with it solo and band gigs with one guitar. Maybe that's all you really need. With stainless steel frets, because they would quickly start to ding in the frets, right? So Telecaster with stainless steel frets, maybe you could use that the rest of your life. And the only reason I say that is because of that. Because I sat through his gig. Zane, thank you, Aaron, everyone. This is what I've Stratocaster, and there are so many mods you adjust to your like and playing. One more, I do love the t-shirt with the logo. Regards from England. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, I like my logo. I'm very happy with it. It took me a long time to make this logo. I will eventually make a new shirt, but I'm very, very proud of this one. And I want to get a different color. I want a darker blue though, but that's fine, whatever. I want to wear something different today. Graham says, my Anderson Atom is semi-hollow inside, but Les Paul sized and no F-holes. Okay. I might try that with the pedal into my PA. Could work with solo gigs as an alternative. I just think like a Telecaster with a really good sounding pickup and 10 gauge strings and the right settings on the amp. I mean, this is still a bit distorted and bright maybe. I just don't see why. Especially for me, if I was wearing in-ears, because I think some people like the feel of the acoustic. It's a bit bigger. It's got a bit more resistance to it. It's got some more of the body sound. And if you're not wearing in-ears, you might hear a little bit of that coming back to you. I think I might understand that. But if you're wearing in-ears, I don't really see a difference between this with the right EQ and everything and an acoustic. If you're only basing it on what you hear from this PA system, I think it would be good. For me, it'd be more of a feel thing. The feel of I do like the feel of the acoustic. I like the look of the acoustic. But if I had to use this for a solo gig, I would. I'd have no problem with it, as long as I had a good amp sim or whatever. Nines on my electrics and 11s on the acoustic. Yeah, but again, I don't think it's that. Like, I thought about putting 11s on the Cole Clark when I had the higher action. I still think it would have helped, of course, but it's the saddle. It's all in the saddle, really. Getting that saddle where it's not too high and not too low, like just right. And then the guitar just kind of plays itself, you know? The thinner strings will be easier to bend, for sure. But I really think it's all in the height of the saddle for me. Just recently, I've added to my collection a vintage 1962 American Fender Special Stratocaster. Is that an actual 62 or a reissue? Which I do love its vintage look and playing, and love playing it, and the other ones do love. Yeah. Some people like vintage looking guitars, some people like modern looking guitars. You know, the thing is, there's so many millions of guitars now, we just get to choose the one that we like the most, right? We like the look of the most. And this is nice. This has got kind of a vintage look to it, but also kind of a modern look to it as well, with that heel being rounded like that. So, yeah, I agree. Imagine playing a song like Take Me Home Country Roads on electric as a solo. It will just sound wrong. It may take a while, but your ears will tire of it. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old then, older than the tree, younger than the mountain, blowing like a breeze. Take me home, country road, to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. I don't agree. I can't agree. I think I might. I'm really speaking hypothetically here. I didn't tire at all of hearing my friend play for like an hour on his Telecaster. It was absolutely fine. I didn't even think about it. As the player, I might agree. As the player, I like the look of me playing an acoustic. I like the feel. I like the body sound, which is what I would never have that with this guitar. But I don't. I think if you dial it in right and it's not too bright and it sounds fat and you got a nice reverb, I think you could easily do a solo gig on electric guitar. At least from an audience perspective. Maybe not from the player's perspective. But if you like it as a player, then you're in, aren't you? Because you haven't got to worry about it anymore. Billy Bragg, that's right. 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 22 now and I won't be for long. People always say when we grow up to be a man, but all the girls I love at school are already pushing track. I would love that. If I could be bothered to take 2 guitars to a gig, I'd love to play songs like that on electric. You know? Noel Gallagher often plays Wonderwall electric. I know, I really like, you know what I like? I always used to set my electric guitar to be completely clean, like pristine clean. And I came to realize this, I know all the electric guitarists will know this already, but when you have that dirty amp, like a Marshall, and you just turn down the volume on your guitar. I've always run my volume on guitar at 10 because I come from acoustic. But when you run your volume down low and you clean up the sound, and yet you still have a little bit of that hair on the note, I really like that. So you know, I would use that. So if I was in a band and doing a song like Breakfast Tiffany's or something, see, that's clean, right? That is a clean sound. But with a little bit of hair on it, which makes it sound less anemic. Then when you hit the chorus, there you go. I mean, I could get through a whole gig like that, you know, just with those 2 sounds alone, just using the volume control. So I'm more into that volume control now than I used to be. Yeah, I think it's great. As long as the volume doesn't jump up too much. But that's for a band. I'm not talking about solo there. I think most well-written songs can overshadow the guitar selection. I agree. You should try your next gig and report back to us. Yeah, I've actually thought about doing it for a video. I've actually thought about doing the video from the perspective of I've seen more and more and more people playing electric lately. So I tried electric and this is what I found. I think that would be an interesting one. But again, you see, we're all talking here as experienced acoustic players. You'd have to do it for at least a month. Because the very first time you do it, in the same way when I first played the Acoustasonic gig, it's going to feel weird. And if you let yourself think, oh no, this feels weird, I'm going to give up, then that's not, it's not going to work. Of course it's going to feel weird. You have to use it for like a week at least, and then see like, how was that? Was that good? Definitely. Do you play standing up? Always. I never play sitting down. Because when I play sitting down, the problem is with playing sitting down is that for a start, like everything is like, you know, I like to stand up and be open. So I only play gigs standing up. I very rarely sit down at a gig. And then the problem I had the other week is that I was practicing this fingerstyle. So I was practicing that technique from John Mayer, right? And I felt like I'm 99% there, which isn't actually good enough. When you learn something new, as you know, you've got to be 110% sure of it. You cannot be 99%. But I thought, you know, I was practicing this a long time the other week. And I really felt like I was pretty solid with it. So this is a couple of weeks ago. I haven't been practicing it as much, or I'd be much better at it. But I remember I played the night after. I played this song, and it wouldn't fall apart. But it was like, it was really hard because suddenly I was standing up, and my arm was in a different position, and it was like it was getting tired. I was like, well, I played this for 2 hours. It wasn't getting tired. Now it's getting tired after 2 minutes. What's going on? Well, because when you practice, you really should wear a strap and play as if you are standing up in that same position. If you practice everything sitting down, in that position, and then you stand up and your position shifts slightly, it really messes with your technique. So that was a reminder to myself. Regarding guitars, as our old saying, whatever rocks your boat, and love combining both acoustic and electric at the solo, and especially with the English Marshall amp. Let me know what you think. Yeah. Well, of course, it's all preference. That's all this is. We're just talking about what we like and what we don't, right? None of it is meant to offend or be talking down at any time. And sometimes I just throw ideas out there. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to ditch my acoustic and start playing electric. I just thought, I have these thoughts, you know. So I was at my friend's gig and I just thought to myself, what am I doing? Why did I ever spend all this money? Why didn't I just get a great Strat, a great telly, custom shop telly, stainless steel frets, great pickups, and use it for everything? Like, what? It was just a thought, you know. We all have these thoughts from time to time. I'm not saying that makes them right. What would I take? So my friend plugged his telly straight into the PA, through pedals, but no amp sim. I think I would want a really good amp sim. And the problem with that is there aren't many good amp sims that please me. As you know, like the Helix amps and that, they just don't please me. I think it would have to be a Kemper or something like that. Maybe one of the newer pedals, like those UA pedals. Maybe. This is a Marshall. So actually, I wouldn't be against this sound. If I had this sound, and that's a room reverb, right? A quick slapback room reverb, which makes it sound more like an amp in the room. But I'd put like a longer reverb as well, so it fills out the sound more, and I'd have reverb on my voice as well, which I don't right now. I think this, just keep the volume down so it doesn't distort too much. I could do it. Again, it depends on the PA. If you have a good PA with subs, it's all relative, isn't it? A good PA with subwoofers with this and a great amp sim versus a guitar with a cheap pickup through a battery-powered speaker on a table. I think I'd rather go with this, but it's all relative, whatever the word is. Can you play Gravity? I always mess up the chorus. I haven't learned that chorus properly. I always mess it up. So we got... And I believe... It's all like... So he actually only picks the note. Those last three... I want to put the chat up here next time. The last three notes, he doesn't pick them, right? He just... So he slides up, picks those two. He doesn't pick any... I don't think he does. I haven't studied this song yet. But I believe he just picks the first two notes. So he picks that note, obviously. Picks those two. So 1, 2, 3. And then the rest of the notes are not picked. They're just hammer-ons and pushes. I think. Against me. You gotta get your thumb over the neck for this Hendrixy. Oh, and twice as, and then twice as much, and then twice as much. A minor 7, and twice as good. Can't sustain my 1/2 good. It's 1 and more. It's gonna send me to my knees, or it might be 1 and more to send me to my knees. I think it's that. Gravity, stay the heck away from me. To bring me down. Oh, twice as much, twice as good, and can't sustain. And do that C where you bring up 2 frets. And 1/2 good. It's 1 and more that's gonna send me to my knees. I think that's right. You know, so many of John Mayer's solos start like that. It must be like 6, 7 songs that does that. Right? Anyway. Guitar setup all depends on the clearance on the 12th fret. Discover. I use 55 and 64. Discover yours. So talk to a luthier. A number you should write down. Yeah, but they've always told me that doesn't matter. Like you can have the number, but then some guitars feel different, so you shouldn't go by numbers. You know what I would do with an acoustic guitar is, if I felt the saddle was slightly too high, I'd keep the original saddle. So I've always got that, and buy some spare saddles. And you can buy spare saddles at either high or medium height. So I'd get a couple of those, find the one that's closest, and then get some sandpaper and gradually take the spare saddle down until it was just below the one you had, and then play it for a while and see how you feel. And then remember that the wood on the acoustic will keep changing as well with the humidity. And then if you feel like that needs to go a bit lower again, then take a little bit off again and just keep going down until you get it exactly where you want, rather than go to a luthier and say, I want it lower, because they might take it too low. And it's also so easy just to sand the bottom of a pickup, as long as you keep it flat. In fact, that's what I was going to do with the Cole Clark. The Cole Clark now is so on the edge, just like it's too low, but it's so easy to play and it's not fretting out. So it's like, I ordered some spare saddles thinking I'm going to make them myself to be slightly higher than that one. But then again, it's not a problem, and it means I can bend on the acoustic on that guitar. So I don't think I'm going to do it, but I have the option of doing it. Also in the summer, that top's going to raise with the humidity, and then that's going to have a slightly higher action anyway. That's why some people have a different saddle for the winter and the summer. For that matter, you might as well go back to your Acoustasonic. At least you can tap on that because it has the body sensor. Yes. But it doesn't, but you can't, problem with that guitar is you can't solo on it like you can on here. And, well, that's a fair point. That does sound good plugged in, that guitar. I was really talking more about guitars that don't sound, like acoustic guitars that don't sound good. One of those acoustic guitars with the undersaddle pickup, it just doesn't sound good. It sounds really quacky and fake and plastic. Versus this. I mean, if in today's stream I was playing one of those acoustics, you wouldn't be happy. You'd be saying, why is he playing that? That sounds terrible. I bet no one's thought that about this sound. This is a pleasant sound, right? But of course, nothing will beat a guitar with an actual, like, 3 pickups in it or whatever, dedicated system. Cheers, Zane. Cheers, David. May I ask what you think about wood tone saddles? Have you done a review? Don't know what they are. Wood tone saddles. Let me just take a quick look. Then we'll wrap things up. Wood tone saddles. I don't even see anything come up in Google. What is it? A wooden saddle? A wooden saddle? I don't know what it is. Put it in the chat or something. It doesn't even come up on this thing. I'm fine with whatever. I'm even less into the whole saddle thing now than I was, because the Rain song is carbon fiber with a not a bone saddle, and it sounds great. And it won many votes in the blind test we did in the video on the channel. So wood versus tusk. Tusk can be more consistent. Bone can have certain character. I mean, I guess again, the purist in me would rather have a bone saddle, but it's more just so I know there's a bone saddle in there. I tell you what, if you've got a tusk saddle in your guitar, or if you've got any saddle in your guitar and you love how it plays, just leave it, because you might change it out and not like the new one as much. For me, it's more about how it plays. And like I said, you can go so low sometimes that it does affect the tone, definitely. But if the playability is improved substantially, maybe it's worth it, especially if you're plugging in the guitar, right? Highwood. I'm not sure. Can you put a link in the chat? I'll take a look. It's the doctor. How you doing, buddy? Good to see the doctor here. You know, Doc, I got a problem with my Apollo Twin. It's really bizarre. If I want to set my ADAT to 48 kilohertz and the Apollo Twin to 48 kilohertz, it works. When I restart everything, there's no sound. I have to set everything back to 44.1, and then I could then change it back to 48. But it's really annoying me. So I've just put everything back to 44.1, which honestly is absolutely fine. I don't think I need to even bother with 48. But I don't know why that is. I thought I could choose any setting and be fine with it. Oh, Highwood saddles. Okay, I'll do one more search. Highwood saddles. Oh, okay. So they're not wooden at all. They're for electric guitars. Yeah, I don't know. You know, saddles can be interesting things on electric guitars. Some saddles have sharp bits here where you make the adjustment and they dig into your hand. In fact, I think my Sir has that. And you can buy vintage. That's a vintage thing. So you can buy vintage saddles that look the same but that don't have that. They're lower. So you don't get that sharp edge on your right hand. Actually, I should have asked them. They're repairing that guitar right now. I should have asked them if they could change them, but I've already asked them to change. I've already asked them for the new neck because of the damage in the neck, and if they can split the coil. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll have someone else do that, I guess, or I'll just live with it. That's the funny thing about vintage. Oh, thanks for subscribing. That's the funny thing about vintage guitars. Sometimes you get stuff like sharp edges and things that are uncomfortable, and yet people like the vintage thing. I don't know. I like the vintage look, but with the modern things that make it more comfortable to play. So this is not sharp here. This is soft on the hand, right? This is not doing anything to my hand. On the Sir, that's like cutting. Not cutting. It doesn't draw blood, but you can feel the pressure of these that are sticking out in the hand. So, like I said, there's actually a saddle you can buy, or you can buy these parts that just drop in here. And they have these lowered in. See, these are still sticking out, but they're not digging into my hand. So I don't know. It's just this stuff drives me crazy, doesn't it? You know, vintage is nice in the mind, but sometimes it's not that good in practice. And modern can be really good in practice, but not so nice in your mind. Okay. QC is up for sale. I need mine to finish a bathroom. But why would you do that when 2.0 is out in like 7 to 14 days? You need to review 2.0 before you sell it, man. Yeah, I want to do 48, but I can't do it. It's annoying. It will not remember it. I need to email Apollo and Focusrite and ask them what's going on. Like I said, I could switch it. Once everything's working, I can switch to 48 and everything's fine. But the minute I turn everything off and turn it on again, there's no sound. And I have to go to 44 and then back to 48 on both devices, and then that's back to 48. That's annoying. Need to figure that out. StewMac, yeah, StewMac has those, what I was talking about. Contoured vintage saddles, yeah. Yeah. That was the only thing with that Sir. The only thing with that Sir is the humbucker is much louder than the other pickups, which is why I asked them to put a push pot on there to split the coil. That would make me want to keep it. And then the sharp saddles on the hand was annoying. So I'd probably change those out at some point in the future. Everything else about that guitar is awesome, and I'm probably going to keep it when I finally get it back. But I gotta say, as much as I love that guitar, to me, this is the better guitar all round. The thing I decided about Sir is you shouldn't buy Sir from stores. You should do a custom order. Because the whole thing about Sir is they do custom orders. They have a really nice custom builder now on their website. So the thing about Sir is you should know what you want and then do a custom. For example, you could say, I want those saddles. I want this color. I want these pickups. I want the push. I want a button to split the coil. I want this neck shape. if you know exactly what you want from a guitar, then custom ordering a guitar from Sir, I'm sure, is amazing. But whenever you buy someone else's custom order, you're always at the mercy of what they chose. And I don't understand why they chose those vintage saddles. I can't believe they sound different. And if anything, they're so uncomfortable when your wrist hits them. So I don't know why they would even use them. Bizarre. Thank you, David. Yep. Hit that like button. Psh, psh, psh. Appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell as well. Thank you, David. I just love to hang out and chat about this stuff. These ones are round at the top and don't hurt the hands. The tone is amazing. Okay. Oh, the Highwoods. Oh, they are contoured. Okay. Oh, that's exactly what I was talking about. I said I don't know what they are. I've looked at these before. That's exactly it. Yeah, and they do a relic one. Yeah, because the Sir I'm having repaired. I've had it for 6 months now. That is a relic. Yeah, that's a relic guitar. So yeah, exactly. The Highwood, those Highwoods, I would have put in the Sir. Definitely. I'll have someone good do that when I get it back. If I keep the guitar, I'll have those Highwoods installed. The funny thing is on here, these are sticking out a little bit, but they're not bothering me. But on the Sir, they're really kind of sharp. Bizarre. Because all you hear about Sir is they take the classic Strat and make it better. But sometimes they don't. Some things about the Sirs that I've owned or played aren't improvements. I don't like them. But again, if you custom order and get exactly what you want, then you're laughing. I bet that'd be one of the best Strats I ever played, I'm sure. I play G&Ls with the saddle lock bridges. Comfortable and sound good. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, Zane, I'll probably have that installed. If I get that guitar back and I like the split that they put in for me, and there's no problem with the guitar, and I play it for a few months and really like it, if that's still bugging me, I'll just have those replaced. How much are they? 60, yeah, 60 bucks. And I'll just get my tech to put them in and set up the intonation again. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely do that. But if I don't like that guitar, I'm going to sell it and just play this one. Focusrite is set to 48K. Yes, it is. The Focusrite is set to 48K, and then I've got internal, ADAT, or world clock. I'm not sure which one I want. I presume I want ADAT, because I want the ADAT to be the master. But even when I had that set at that, it still forgot it when I restarted everything. If I leave it on internal and the computer on ADAT, so right now there's no problem, right, with the sound. The computer, the Apollo is on ADAT. The Focusrite is on internal, and they're both on 41. And I bet if I restart everything, it'll be fine. But with 48, it becomes a real problem when I restart everything, and I don't know what's going on. So I think it might be a setup thing. I mean, worst come to worst, I'll just leave it on 44. I don't think it's the end of the world. I just want simplicity. Rexomatics at the gym, very good. I've often worked out to podcasts as well. Mick Dunn, line arrays. Recently sent back a Maui LDG2, too heavy. What's your opinion on line arrays and what's the best? Well, I've always liked the idea of the bows, but I've never really owned one. I like the JBL PRX1. I really like that. That's a good system. If you want that design and you need a sub, that's a really good way to go. But again, it's heavy, very heavy. But most line arrays will be heavy. So I think you're either going to get a dedicated, an actual line array, like a full Bose system, or the JBL PRX1, or don't bother. Just get a regular speaker. I don't think the portable line arrays are really worth it, in my opinion. I tend to like either just a conventional PA speaker, the QSC K8 or K10.2, or a full-on line array like the PRX1. Or the battery speaker again is purely for portability because they're so light. ADAT should be master. Yeah, that's what I thought. But what is master? I've got internal, ADAT, or world clock. So what's master? Is that ADAT? I presume it is, right? I presume the Apollo should be set to ADAT, the Focusrite should be set to ADAT, and they should both be set to 48. And then when but the only problem is when I reset everything, is it going to mess up again? I hope not. I'm going for convenience right now. Jasper says, favorite strap brand. What do I use? I've got these black leather straps that I use, and they ruin my shirts, but I still use them. You know, because they got shiny leather on the outside, and then a rough where it goes on your shirt, so it doesn't slip around. But then that causes like wear on your shirts. Some people wear them in reverse for that reason. I've just used those for years. And then on my electric, which I don't gig out that much, when I do, I have a comfort strap, the big padded ones. I really like those. I've never even bothered with other straps apart from those. I think the black one might be Levi's. I think that's a Levi's. I've had that for years. Years and years and years and years. It still looks great. Still works great. But something to look into in the future. Alternative straps, for sure. For me, a strap should be inconspicuous, comfortable, reliable, and then they just last forever. So I haven't really worried about them. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get one with my name on it. Aaron Short Music or something. Levi's. Yeah, mine's Levi's. And I liked it so much that I went to Guitar Center and found some more the same. So I have like 2 of them. 2 or 3. All right, people. So basically, watch out for I'm really enjoying the news. The news on Fridays. Please watch it. Please leave me a comment and a thumbs up if you enjoy that section on Fridays. Every Friday doing the news. During the week, I'm doing at least one other video, which is going to be just random. You're going to see a lot of reviews and demos of stuff as I'll be selling it. I don't want to sell a load of stuff without using it in the video, at least. So you'll be seeing several guitars over the next few months. They're all going to be sold. And if you do see it, it most likely has been sold. But if not, yeah, you always reach out to me in case you want to buy something that I'm showing. So get all that out the way, and then I'll see where I'm at after that. What is that? I think it's the reverb. I think so. I'm sorry. I think it sounds great. I'm just going to say it. I think it sounds great. Yeah. So subscribe, ring the bell. Have a great week. Watch out for my video in the midweek. Watch out for the news on Fridays. We're going to get so many new products this year, so you'll be able to catch all that information on Fridays. I'm going to aim to have everything on that news because I figured I'm always on the sites and looking around anyway, and I know a lot of people and friends and that talking about stuff. So all the news should be contained in one place on Fridays, which is cool. And then watch out for all the upcoming videos during the week. It'll be stuff that I'm selling. After that, I'm not sure what I'll do. Probably, I mean, there's lots of other ideas that I have, but I want to get that stuff gone. I want to get a bunch more reviews out of that stuff before I sell it, of course. It makes a lot of sense. Then I'll probably focus in more on specific things for a while. My long-term goal is to get rid of everything and then get one thing to review for like 3 months rather than like collecting stuff, thinking I'll make videos about it. I want to be like posting songs, doing chats, doing tips and tricks, and then say, is there something that I should really check out? And if a bunch of people say that you should check out this guitar, then I would look for a used one for a really fair price, get that, and I'd only feature that in different videos for like 3 months on these streams and other videos about it, and really get the money's worth, and then sell it on, and then get something else. So the focus is more on one thing at a time, and also on what I'm actually using. More videos about stuff that I'm actually using rather than, here's a pedal that just came out, and I'm going to send it back. This seems pointless to me. All right. Thank you, Jasper. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Padded Pedal Room. Appreciate it. Thanks, Graham. Thanks, Rosanna, for moderating. Appreciate it as always. Share Martin knowledge again. We'll do a Martin special sometime when I get the Martin out. Soundhole Cipher Strap. No, I wanna I need another slow. Basically, I'll keep the Sandhole Sniffer thing because I'm obviously a huge acoustic guitar fan. But I need another thing because I need another thing that broadens the appeal. Because I also love to sing and love to play electric and love piano and love recording and love computers. So it's not just about acoustic guitar. So I need to find some way of doing that. But I'll keep that Sandhole Sniffer line because I enjoy it. And I will make the cup. I want to make a mug and a cap eventually. So I'll definitely do those. All right. Cheers, Zane. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate it. I had fun today as always. I love the random topics. Let me watch out for the news on Friday. If you hear of any news, put it in one of those news videos as a comment, and I'll put it in that following week's news. I appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. I'm sure everyone here has already done that. But if someone else is watching this in the future, subscribe and ring the bell and watch my other videos. Everyone take care and be well. Think of some more topics for next Monday, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Later.
I'm not lost, but I'm not